mod versus V3, sorry. And this is our format here. So for the regular season, each week, the teams will play one best of 3. Schedule your own games with your opponent, and then the day cannot be decided, then it's the default days on Wednesday, which you got our beautiful live streams right here. Now there's 2 groups of 6 teams, and then the top 4 teams from each group will be making it to the playoffs. And then the playoffs are quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals, and then they're all best of 5. Prize pool, $450 goes to first place, and second place gets $150. I'm joined today by Jojo and Chrissy, and why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Chrissy, go ahead.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Chrissy. You can also call me Kipsy if you'd like. And I've been casting for about 8 months now, so I'm very happy to be here and cast these games tonight. It's gonna be my first cast of 2022.
Yeah, my name is Jojo. Chrissy is my main duo, so you guys are in for a treat tonight. I have also been casting for, we're coming up on a year, so I'll just say
Yeah.
a year. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Don't forget to follow me and Chrissy on Twitter. Mine is at MSJosieKK.
My is KPSYPH.
There you go.
Awesome. And my name's Tai Tai. I'm going to be your host for this split, and we got some really fun games going. So we're into Act 4, or Episode 4, my bad, of Valorant, which saw a big shift in the meta. A lot of it is now that Ares, you can always win around with that light buy. And what are your guys' thoughts on this new, meta went from the, got to save for the econ to now you can force your way through the rounds?
As someone who plays her eco rounds with the Stinger most of the time, I really feel like the economy differential between the 950 Stinger, and I'm not sure, I think they changed the price of the Ares today, but it is significantly more than that Stinger. I think it makes sense that it is more powerful than that, but when you start seeing an Ares being bought in a full buy round when that player could have afforded a rifle, a Vandal, and even an Odin, which technically should also be more powerful than the Ares, that does cause a little bit of concern. And suddenly you're thinking, is this weapon too inexpensive for its power?
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of agree with that. I'm sorry. You want to go?
No, you got this.
Okay. Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, Ares has always been like just a little bit easier to use than the Odin and pack the same punch, but now with the buffs and the semi-nerf today, I think the nerf was the recoil when you crouch is decreased significantly, so you have to work a little harder to get those shots in, but it's still, like you said, a very powerful weapon, especially on those low buys, so you don't have to save up to the Odin price to get that same effect. You just have to have a little bit of money in your pocket and you're good. And definitely I've seen a lot of changes in the meta, especially in pub games, ranked games, and hopefully I'm going to see it here in this competition. It's going to be a sight to see.
Yeah, definitely excited for that. And then something we definitely do have to talk about here, Neon, the new agent, not available in the first couple weeks of the split. We're going to see her introduced around February, but we got to talk about her, right? She's a massive change and shift in the direction of team comps, especially when it comes to competitive, right? A lot of teams in the rank queues are going for 3 duelists, which is something completely different than we've seen before. And there's 6 duelists in the game now, so there's a lot more that you can do. Have you guys got to try out Neon? Got to see what she can do?
Not yet. I haven't touched Valorant in a while, but from what I can see, it could just be the fact that she's new and no one knows how to counter her or play around her just yet. But she can be a bit annoying. She can definitely put a dent in someone's plans when they want to defend, and she's just sliding back and forth around you. But I am hoping to see that if we do see a Neon eventually, I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And Jojo, have you got
I
to
was
try it out?
gonna say the same thing. Yeah, I have not unlocked her yet. I am trying to be conservative with the amount of money that I put into the game, so I'm doing it the long way, doing my weeklies and getting the points toward Neon. But I typically am not really a duelist player, and I almost think that Neon is an easier duelist to sort of master for players like me. She definitely gives me like duelist initiator vibes because she can throw up those walls and like break into
Yeah.
sight there, and she has the stuns like maybe a breach. Um,
Mhm.
so that's kind of what I realized with Chamber as well. He feels like a duelist sentinel combination, and
Yeah.
that's where I think Valorant is leading towards with these new agents coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
for
agree.
sure. And I have played her a bit in ranked and around that type of thing. She's a lot of fun, and if we do get Breeze coming up in the next few weeks when she is enabled, I'm really excited to see her because she can really open a site up. And good thing you mentioned Chamber because Chamber is one of the newer agents to Valorant, the one that was brought and introduced right before Neon. This is going to be the first that we really see him in VRS, and I'm honestly excited to see what people do. The new comps that are looking pretty good in pro play, and he's going to be powerful.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I feel like I definitely want to see someone change up his playstyle. So while we mentioned like he's a sentinel type duelist, I do see players try to play him like, let's say, a jet and play really aggressive and maybe TP away. But if he's down, there's still a sentinel side of him, and his sight with his trademarks can still go down. So I'm hoping to see no one take too many risky plays, but if they know how to work it, I'm all for it.
Yeah, for sure. And I did just get our maps locked in. So it looks like we're going to start on Ascent, then head to Breeze. Unfortunately, no Neon yet, but hopefully we see that later down the road. And then our third map, if it comes down to that in tonight's best of three, will be Icebox. So it's going to be a bunch of good maps. These are maps that are pretty open, a lot of nice angles for people to peek, a lot of good headshot angles. On Icebox, you have that on A site. So a lot of different play styles that can be shown, a lot of different team comps. So it's going to be really interesting to see what these teams do and how they shake it up between the maps.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, in terms of agent composition, I don't exactly know what I'm expecting on Ascent. Obviously, potentially that Astra is super duper strong on Ascent. Definitely expect to see her. Maybe a Sage being played. She has sort of maybe fallen off a little bit in favor of Killjoy, who's also very powerful on this map, but I still think she's a pretty solid pick. Anything from you, Chrissy, on maybe duelists or initiators?
Definitely Sova. I feel like Sova is not. Yeah, he's needed on this map. I'm just gonna say he's needed on
Yeah.
this map. Any other initiator is okay, but they don't. What I've seen, they don't have the same impact as Sova can. Sky is a second best pick, but her flashes can only gather so much information as there's a lot of high ground on Ascent and a lot of different tight corners where anyone could be hiding. So Sova is definitely the one to have here in terms of duelists. Nothing, in my opinion, beats the Reyna Jet combo, so I'm hoping to see those two pulled out.
I agree with you there. And one thing that I really just want to touch on here, the Ares buff combined with Sova on Ascent
Oh yeah,
I really want to see this because
yeah,
Ares was already a weapon that was used on to hold that B site on Ascent, and having the new buff on top of util that Sova has means that when a team locks that in, it's going to be quite difficult to push the B site here.
yeah, absolutely. That B site and Sova has always just been every person's nightmare. The amount of damage that could be done with just a singular wallbang is just ridiculous. So I expect to see this right now.
And I'm even worried about the Sova Killjoy Astra
Oh yeah,
combination.
oh,
Ooh.
Like
100%.
that site is gonna be on lock. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
no.
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't think many teams are going to want to push B here on Ascent, but it all depends on those team comps because another agent that I've seen kind of shift into the meta out of nowhere, no real reworks or changes being made, is Brimstone. He's finally getting some love. An agent that has barely been touched by Riot since introduced in beta, one of the core agents at the start of the game. So I don't really know how he shifted in, but he has shifted in, and I'm all here for it. I'm really excited to see because he is really powerful, and people are only starting to realize that now.
Yeah, I agree. I think the problem with Brimstone, like we've known it since the start, his range of the smokes is like very small. But I always said that Ascent is a very even-sided map. So for the attackers, if they're going to commit to one site, I think he's excellent. If they're going to try to push mid, however, it might be a little more difficult. But yeah, I definitely see him a lot in these back in the meta, back in these map pools. I don't think we're gonna see him on Breeze, unfortunately, but definitely if we see him at all tonight, it should be on Ascent.
I think that the power of Brimstone is his Molly. With a controller like Astra, her only real post-plant clutch ability is gravity welling someone off the spike, and even then you still have to hit your shots in order to kill that particular diffuser. So
Mhm.
in that sense, I do think he has a better kit, but then when you look at, the range of the smokes and maybe not utilizing the stim beacon as much as you should,
Yeah.
he falls a
Mhm.
little flat.
Yeah, and now just a quick mistake on my end. We are going to be starting on Icebox. We
Okay.
get more time to think about those Ascent combinations, and maybe these teams are going to realize the possibilities that they can come up with. And we are just starting that map any second now and getting you guys right in, and we're going to switch over to Agent Select.